What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Gomi Talk podcast, or should I say the first episode, because this is the first episode on our new rebrand. I'm your host, Flick, and unfortunately, Chris couldn't make it again today, so we're going to do this one solo. A couple topics I'll be going over today is early predictions for Offensive Rookie of the Year, break down the top 3 candidates for that category, bold prediction topics given to us by ESPN. Then, as always, we're going to wrap it up with the biggest surprises, biggest disappointments of Week 5. Offensive Rookie of the Year. The top 3 rookies shining so far offensively are Puka Nacua, CJ Stroud, and Bion Robinson. We're going to break down each player and give our thoughts on each one of those players. Starting at number 3, Bion Robinson. Bion Robinson, rookie running back for the Atlanta Falcons, is ranked 8th in the league in rushing yards and is an absolute joy to watch. You can just tell if he stays healthy, he's going to have an absolutely electric career. He's kind of got some of that Barry Sanders style to him. Super fun to watch. Number 2, we got CJ Stroud, quarterback for the Houston Texans. I absolutely love this kid. He is shattering rookie records left and right. He is currently ranked top 3 in passing yards with 1,461. He currently has 7 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Also currently breaking the record for most consecutive completions without an interception. And number 1, Puka Nacua. This rookie wide receiver for the Rams is currently ranked number 2 in reception yards. Out of these 3 rookies, I would probably lean more towards CJ Stroud. No disrespect to the other 2, but I just think he shines more. Not saying we're gonna see a lot less from Puka. But we just saw Cooper Kupp come back in Week 5 and was right back to his old self. So, but they did have a good split between the 2. But I just think, it's Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is, when healthy, one of the best receivers in the league. So, when it comes to CJ Stroud, I think we'll only see more of him. So I lean a little more towards CJ Stroud, and I think he's only just going to progress. Moving on to the bold predictions given to us by ESPN. First bold prediction is the Bills will win 15 games. Whoever made this prediction, I don't know what they were on, but this is a very bold prediction, like a very, very bold prediction. For them entering Week 6 being 3-2, for them to win 15 games, they would have to win every single game for the rest of the season, which I can tell you right now is not going to happen. I think the Bills are still a contending team, easily. But I think they'd be lucky to get maybe 12 wins this season. Their schedule is just too tough. Couple of teams that they see coming up in the future is Bengals Week 9, Eagles Week 12, Chiefs Week 14, Cowboys Week 15, Chargers Week 16, Dolphins Week 18. It's just way too tough of a schedule for them to win the rest of these games, especially when their 2 losses are to the Jaguars and the Jets. They just show some inconsistency for this. So this is a very bold prediction. Like I said, I think maybe be lucky to get the 12 wins, but definitely still a contending team. I think Josh Allen's still an MVP quarterback. So we'll see, but I'd say hell no. 15 wins, hell no. Next bold prediction is the Bengals will lose at least 10 games. Again, bold prediction. I think that they will maybe come close to losing 10 games, but I don't think they'll go over 10 games. They're entering Week 6, 2-3. But Joe is looking a lot better, a lot more mobile on that calf injury than in the recent weeks up until last week. He looked real good, and he's utilizing his best weapon, which is Jamari Chase. You saw him for 15 catches on 192 yards and 3 touchdowns. But for them to lose 10 games or more than 10 games, I don't see it. Their schedule's actually in their favor a lot coming up. The only 3 teams that I see that are really a struggle for them are going to be the 49ers, the Bills, and the Chiefs. That's Week 8, Week 9, and Week 17. Other than that, I think there's, like I said, their schedule's in their favor, but we'll see if they can play like they did last week. Every week going forward, then they should have no problem. Hopefully, keeping that loss total under 10. But heading into the biggest surprises, biggest disappointments, my biggest surprise from week 5, and this may be a little biased, and I'm going to use it because I may never get this chance again, are the Chicago Bears. They played great against the Commanders on Thursday night. Justin Fields looked great, 282 yards and 4 touchdowns, and DJ Moore had an absolutely amazing night, 8 for 230, 3 touchdowns, and their win 40-20 over the Commanders. As a Bears fan, I was, for once in a long time, happy to be watching the Chicago Bears game. Almost went a full calendar year without winning a game and finally cracked that 14 loss streak. So, biggest surprise. If they can play like that every week, at least put that effort in. I mean, it was just a totally different team that we saw. Granted, it was against the Commanders, but they played real good football. So, biggest surprise was my Chicago Bears. And the biggest disappointment that I had for week 5 was, talked about it a little bit earlier, but was the Buffalo Bills loss to the Jaguars. I know recently I said the Jaguars were a sleeper team that could do well in the AFC, but never did I think that they would give the Buffalo Bills a loss. It just very disappointing. Previously, I mean, we saw last week that the Buffalo Bills beat arguably the best team in the league at that point, the Dolphins, and then they go on to lose to the Jaguars. I don't know if they were just different atmosphere because it was in London. I don't know, but I think they're very inconsistent, and for the Jaguars to give them a loss is just crazy. So, yeah, big disappointment there from the Buffalo Bills. So that about wraps up this week's podcast. I know it's a little shorter one, but it's hard to keep them going along when there's no one to debate with. But hopefully Chris will be back next week, and we can get back to our regular schedule, giving you guys the content that you guys tune in to listen for. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for listening to today's podcast, and we'll catch you in the next one.